Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Friday, December 8th, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. GDF helicopter crash, bittersweet moment as survivors and victims' body brought to city. 6.5% salary increase for public servants, 1-month tax-free bonus for discipline services. New generators to arrive next week to cushion increased power demand, says JAGDEO. Government working to develop harassment bill, says Dr. PERSAUD, and be alert about online marketplace shopping, says CCAC. Now for the news in detail. After spending 2 long nights in the jungles of Guyana, the 2 survivors of the Guyana Defense Force helicopter crash have finally returned to the city and have been reunited with their families. It was a bittersweet moment since the families of those 5 servicemen who did not survive the horrific accident broke down in pain and anguish as the bodies of their loved ones were also extracted.
The arrival of the survivors of Wednesday's tragic helicopter crash at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport on Friday. Corporal Dwayne Jackson and Lieutenant Andio Michael Crawford are the only 2 servicemen who survived the crash in the deep jungles of Guyana in the vicinity of Arau. Their 5 colleagues have perished. They are Brigadier Gary Beaton, Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, and Staff Sergeant Jason Khan. Their bodies were also extracted and brought back to the city. At the Eugene F. Correa International Airport on Friday was Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces President Dr. Irfan Ali, Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force Brigadier Omar Khan, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, along with a number of senior government officials. Family members of the victims and the survivors were also present. The rescue and recovery operation had resumed on Friday morning. Despite the continuous bad weather, the team successfully completed the extraction mission. On Thursday, 3 attempts were made at extraction, but the inclement weather thwarted those efforts. As such, members of the rescue team, including medical personnel, were inserted at the location to care for the survivors during their 2nd night in the jungle. The servicemen were on Wednesday heading to visit troops near the Venezuelan border when contact was lost with the aircraft in which they were traveling. At about 11:20 on Wednesday, an emergency locator transmitter signal was sent, but because of the rough terrain and adverse weather, the search and rescue team was able to reach the site only on Thursday at about 14:30. The GDF has since assured that a full investigation will be launched into the incident.
President Dr. Irfan Ali has called on all religious organizations across the nation to join hands in dedicating this coming Sunday, December 10, as a day of prayer and reflection. The head of state said this day of prayer and reflection is an opportunity for the country's diverse religious communities to come together to offer prayers for the departed souls, and it is a time also to reflect on the sacrifices made by these brave men in service to the nation and to express gratitude for their dedication to duty. President Ali also urged that this day of prayer and reflection serve as a balm of healing and compassion. Meanwhile, the University of Guyana today announced that students who may be impacted by the deaths of the 5 soldiers can request a deferral of their upcoming examinations. Students who can benefit from this relief measure must fall in these categories of persons: military, paramilitary, police, armed services, and reservists, teachers and students living and serving in regions 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, medical personnel and frontline workers, regional administrators, diplomatic service workers, and media. Students who are in these categories and in active service may request deferral of examinations to the end of January 2024. This request must be accompanied by written evidence from their organizations. For these exams only, the university will facilitate that all students writing them may use any government-issued ID. This is for all campuses and all categories of students, including international students. Students who have UG-issued identification cards will be able to access all documentation and grades after exams. We now tell you that Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, has announced a 6.5% salary increase for all public servants, including teachers and members of the disciplined services. He also announced a 1-month tax-free bonus for members of the disciplined services. Here's a look.
We will be paying in 2023 an across-the-board salary increase of 6.5% to all public servants, teachers, members of the disciplined services, constitutional office holders, as well as government pensioners. This increase will be granted retroactively to the 1st of January 2023. And the consequential salary adjustments will benefit over 54,000 public servants, teachers, members of the disciplined services, and government pensioners, and will place an additional $7.5 billion in disposable income annually in the hands of these employees. I also wish to announce that we will pay a 1-month tax-free bonus to all members of the disciplined services, which will benefit 12,000 members of the uniformed services and will place an additional $1.5 billion of disposable income in their hands. For the first time, this bonus will be paid to the civilian employees of the Guyana Defense Force. We've paid a 7% across-the-board increase in 2021, followed by an additional 8% increase in 2022 to public servants, teachers, nurses, members of the disciplined services, and other employees in the public sector. We've increased the income tax threshold from $65,000 monthly to $75,000 monthly in 2022, and then further to $85,000 this year. In addition to these measures, His Excellency the President recently announced various upward adjustments in salaries to specific categories of teachers, health workers, and members of the disciplined services.
Rubusina Ryan joins us now to report that despite the enduring controversy with Venezuela over the Essequibo region, Vice President Dr. JAGDEO has maintained the nation's commitment to diplomatic solutions, emphasizing the importance of maintaining good neighborly relations. Here are the details.
Vice President Dr. JAGDEO on Thursday emphasized Guyana's openness towards fostering dialogue with Venezuela, recognizing the fact that long after the controversy is settled, the Spanish-speaking country remains a neighbor.
We're always willing to talk to anyone, especially our neighbors. Long after this issue is settled by the ICJ, we would have to live with Venezuela as our neighbors. We want to promote good neighborly relationship with Venezuela.
Nevertheless, JAGDEO clarified that any attempts by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to seek a negotiated settlement outside of the World Court framework would not be entertained. He firmly stated that the only approach Guyana will pursue to its finality is through the International Court of Justice. As a result, the Vice President rejected the notion of returning to the good officers process, which had spanned 30 years without yielding any tangible results.
We are not removing ourselves from that process. Whatever Maduro tries to do, there is no bilateral engagement to decide the validity of the 1899 award any longer. There is only one approach that Guyana is going to pursue, and that to its finality, and that's the ICJ. So if he is acting up here with the view that somehow he will get us back to the table for a negotiated settlement, to take us back to the good offices process that lasted 30 years and didn't yield any results, or the mixed commission that didn't yield any results, then he's mistaken.
Based on a 10-year-old census, the Essequibo area accounts for almost 2/3 of Guyana, with around 125,000 of its 800,000 inhabitants living there. The Ghana government has declared its commitment to resolving this long-standing border controversy with Venezuela through the legal process at the World Court. This position was also reaffirmed by Guyana's National Assembly in a unanimous vote last month. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
The General Secretariat of the Organization of American States has expressed a sense of urgency and gravity regarding the aggressive stance of the Maduro regime of Venezuela towards Guyana. According to the OAS, this aggression has escalated to a point of significant concern for regional security and threatens the stability and territorial sovereignty within the hemisphere. The OAS has asserted that the Maduro regime is continuing to take and promote unlawful actions against Guyana, such as conducting an illegal and illegitimate referendum on December 3, by which it seeks to annex the Essequibo region. The OAS notes that this action was taken not only in flagrant disregard for international law and decisions of the World Court, but also once more with an undemocratic use of democratic processes. The OAS reminded that the Venezuelan regime has been in permanent violation of the universal regulations of human rights, and that the authorities of the regime are being investigated before the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. Meanwhile, according to the OAS, the recent actions taken by the regime in Venezuela not only jeopardize the development and stability of Guyana, but also pose a broader risk to the security of Latin America and the Caribbean. In light of these developments, the General Secretariat reaffirms and endorses the request for a meeting of the OAS Permanent Council as soon as possible. This meeting would aim to discuss possible measures to mitigate this crisis and explore solutions that respect international law and regional stability. Coming up, new generators to arrive next week to cushion increased power demand, says JAGDEO, and be alert about online marketplace shopping, says CCAC. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves, and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Mechanics, Sylvie's has all the equipment you need to make your job easier and your business profitable. Visit our 31 High and Hatfield Street store and choose from our wide array of shop presses, engine hoists, oil drain pans, parts washers, jack stands, bottle and floor jacks, hand tools, and much more. Can't make it to the store? Shop online at sylviesonline.com and have it delivered. Call or WhatsApp 623-7755 for more info.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel. This Christmas, it's all about the best. Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Get half off and a whopping 50 gigs of data when you purchase the Samsung A04 for just $14,000, the Samsung A14 for just $29,000, or the Samsung A24 for just $35,000. That's right, half off and 50 gigs of data. It doesn't get any better than this. So why wait? This Christmas, buy nothing but the best. Offer good while stocks last. Digicel.
Are you a business owner? Your expertise is vital to the success of our economy. As a leader in your industry, we invite you to participate in the 2023 National Economic Survey from the Bureau of Statistics. By law, your participation is required. However, it is also an opportunity to share insights that will directly inform key economic policies and future business opportunities. The survey process is simple and guided every step of the way by our knowledgeable data collectors. They will work with you to capture the data that matters efficiently and accurately.
Your insights inform our nation. The 2023 National Economic Survey gives you the power to shape Guyana's economic future. By sharing your expertise, we are able to gather data so that you can make wise investment decisions, anticipate changes in consumer behavior, understand GDP trends to manage risk efficiently, and gain competitive insight for your long-term planning. This legally required survey is confidential. Your data is protected by the Statistics Act, and any information identifying your individual business cannot be shared or used for other purposes, such as taxation. This is your chance to be heard and make a difference.
The National Economic Survey 2023.
Shape tomorrow's economy.
Your participation matters.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The generator sets procured by government to address the growing demand for power are now expected to arrive next week. They would provide relief to hundreds of citizens from constant power outages. Rupasina Ryan tells us more.
Vice President Dr. JAGDEO informed at his Thursday press conference that there has been a slight delay in the arrival of the transformers, crucial for integrating the generators into the power grid. Despite the setback, JAGDEO assured that the generators are anticipated to arrive by December 15th. It was initially expected that the sets would be installed in time for the holiday season, when power consumption is higher.
There were some issues where some of the transformers might be delayed because they were caught up in shipping. But we are told that GPL has transformers that they can use to have these units installed. We expect that they would be operational, and that would add about 30 megawatts to the system.
Does this include the generators also?
Yes, the transformers are the generators have to arrive, so the transformers are what make them work. And also, if you get the generators without the transformers, you can't install them, you can't bring them into the grid, the power into the grid. So we anticipate, they told us definitively that this would be done between the 11th to the 15th.
To address the increasing demand for power, the government made a substantial investment of $27 million in procuring the generator sets, which are expected to contribute an additional 28.9 megawatts to the grid. Once fully operational, the reliable power output is projected to reach around 203 megawatts, providing a significant boost to the overall power supply on the coast. The demand for power has been growing exponentially as new developments unfold, and this will only continue in the new year, projected by the Guyana Power and Light at 236 megawatts. When government entered office in 2020, the demand was 120 megawatts. This grew to 136 megawatts in 2021, 156 megawatts by 2022, and then peaking to 184 megawatts in 2023. This year's peak was recorded when all industrial customers were on the grid. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
In further efforts to bring an end to gender-based violence and other forms of violence in society, the government is working on developing a harassment bill which will go out for consultation soon. Kamesi Slow reports.
Harassment refers to the words or behavior that threatens, intimidates, or demeans a person. Harassment is unwanted, uninvited, and unwelcome and causes nuisance, alarm, or substantial emotional distress without any legitimate purpose. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Protection is moving to develop legislation that deals with those issues in Guyana. This was announced by Subject Minister Dr. PERSAUD on Wednesday at the closing reception of the Spotlight Initiative.
We're also working on the harassment bill, and that's a big one, and it will go out for consultation pretty soon. And I would love to have your feedback on it because that happens everywhere. And we want to make sure, I love the fact that he said yes too, but I want to make sure that we put a handle on it and we make sure, even if at first it starts as a conversation and an awareness, something starts.
This will be an additional measure by the government aimed at tackling gender-based violence. Meanwhile, the minister has revealed that the final draft of the Family Violence Bill, which seeks to provide for the protection for persons who are experiencing gender-based violence, is completed. It will soon be presented to the National Assembly.
And it simply means that there is more protection for people out there who are experiencing gender-based violence. There are more punitive measures, yes, but there are other measures that speak to rehabilitation, that speaks to reporting, speaks to supporting, and speaks to the discretionary measures that have been removed that make it very, very pivotal that when you have under your ambit responsibility for the law, you have to act. So it's a very crucial bill that will go on our floors, and I hope that it will be unanimously supported because it benefited from so many people out there, many of you in this room, to get it to its current shape.
The bill will replace the current Domestic Violence Act once passed in Parliament. It will allow for a widened assessment of family members. The Domestic Violence Act addresses incidents of personal and spousal violence, while the proposed legislation aims to appropriately address relationships within an extended family context. The new bill also includes elements that focus on helping individuals rehabilitate reported incidents or concerns, providing support, and incorporating discretionary or flexible measures as needed in specific situations. Kamisi Slow for the Evening News.
The Center for Local Business Development has awarded another 45 local companies for the successful completion of the Health, Safety, Security, Environment HSSE Management System program. Here is Kamisi Slow again with the details.
The Center for Local Business Development's HSSE Management System program was established in 2019. Some 25 companies were certified in 2021 and another 30 in 2022. This year, an additional 45 firms were certified. During an event at the Pegasus Suits and Corporate Center at Kingston, Georgetown, on Wednesday to mark this milestone, Occupational Safety and Health Consultant at the Ministry of Labor, Gwyneth King, commended the center for its efforts.
As I can see, and by now we are all aware, that the Center for Local Business Development has been doing a very good job in the area of workplace safety and health, and has been making significant contributions to the enhancement of the safety and health culture at work in Guyana.
Additionally, King encouraged all enterprises to establish functioning workplace safety and health committees in keeping with the OSH Act. Meanwhile, 3 tour operators were among the awardees. Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Kamrul Bash, urged them to be change agents within the tourism community so that other stakeholders will become HSSE certified.
We are integrating these protocols within our own licensing system so that it's seamless and not disjointed, where just a few businesses have the HSSE certificate and manual, but it's actively part of the policies and processes within the Tourism Authority's regulatory system.
This program offers a comprehensive tool for companies to reach their HSSE goals and raise their standards to fit industry needs and requirements. Kamisi Slow for the Evening News.
The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission is urging citizens to be vigilant when entering into any transaction with sellers on the local marketplace. Head of the Consumer Affairs Unit, Rosante Perry, says not being able to resolve cases wherein citizens were scammed by online sellers was a major challenge for the Commission this year. Trishelle Sobers has the details in this report.
In an exclusive interview with Evening News, head of the Consumer Affairs Unit, Rosante Perry, revealed that a number of complaints lodged this year had to do with online transactions, specifically Facebook Marketplace. Complaints ranged from the non-functioning of items purchased to items being materially different in brand and quality from that which was advertised. She noted that in some instances, sellers immediately delete their accounts after scamming buyers, while others operate under several different names online. This paired with consumers' reluctance to secure sufficient information about sellers on the local marketplace has posed a challenge for the Commission when seeking redress.
The only thing they know is that they found the seller on the marketplace and they bought the item. However, when we are going to investigate, we sometimes cannot locate the seller on the marketplace. So we're urging consumers to collect sufficient information about the supplier even before making the purchase.
In addition to securing sufficient information about buyers on local marketplace, Perry also issued a call for citizens to do their own background checks on sellers. This ranges from verifying information published by sellers to conducting reviews on previous posts issued. Perry explained that this can play a pivotal role in resolving complaints and preventing buyers from being deceived by scammers.
We also encourage consumers to see if they can pick up at the location of the supplier, because we notice a lot of these suppliers offer delivery services. They will meet at coffee, they will meet at City Mall, and so they do not know where to find them. So we're not saying all businesses are like this, but sometimes if something is too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And so they need to do the background checks for themselves as well.
Given the high demand for goods and services at this time, the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission is imploring that citizens remain vigilant and safeguard themselves when engaging in online transactions. This includes ensuring receipts and warranties are provided after every purchase issued, among others. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, December 9, 2023 at 2 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Beverly River Bridge is expected to be closed at 13 hours 55 on Saturday, December 9, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Under 11 girls finalists confident of taking trophy home, and 12 teams to vie for supremacy in the 11th edition of Titan Bowl. Details of these stories and more in this podcast sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Giving you the best Christmas with digital.
Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Hold on to your Santa hats because there's up to $50 million in cash to be won. Activate any data plan and you can be one of 14 winners to join Digicel's Spin to Win game show where you can win millions in cash. Activate a data plan today on the best network and make this Christmas the best one yet.
Digicel. Superbet, your best bet. Bet as you enjoy your live matches today. Place your live bets at www.superbet.gy on any of your favorite matches and watch your winnings grow. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Are you a business owner? Your expertise is vital to the success of our economy. As a leader in your industry, we invite you to participate in the 2023 National Economic Survey from the Bureau of Statistics. By law, your participation is required. However, it is also an opportunity to share insights that will directly inform key economic policies and future business opportunities. The survey process is simple and guided every step of the way by our knowledgeable data collectors. They will work with you to capture the data that matters efficiently and accurately.
Your insights inform our nation. The 2023 National Economic Survey gives you the power to shape Guyana's economic future. By sharing your expertise, we are able to gather data so that you can make wise investment decisions, anticipate changes in consumer behavior, understand GDP trends to manage risk efficiently, and gain competitive insight for your long-term planning. This legally required survey is confidential. Your data is protected by the Statistics Act, and any information identifying your individual business cannot be shared or used for other purposes, such as taxation. This is your chance to be heard and make a difference.
The National Economic Survey 2023.
Shape tomorrow's economy.
Your participation matters.